Hi, Lana here. Lana's Lantern Holistic Women's Health and Fitness. I emphasized holistic because I want to talk about what that means. So holistically, we are caring for the self emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. And with holistic women's health and fitness, we focus on caring for the self and getting our best health through our own means and with our own body systems, doing the best we can before turning to outside sources like synthetics or processed foods, etc. So today is Hormonal Hump Day, and I want to talk about how we can help our hormones as we age. So perimenopause, ladies, it can start in our 30s, and we can suddenly not be able to deal with stress as effectively as normal. Our moods can become a bit erratic. Our menstrual cycle can get a little wonky. We can have heavier periods. We can have spotting mid-month. We can lose some extra hair. We can have really painful breasts. And we can have some insomnia. We can have hot flashes. So how we can support our hormones during this phase, which honestly can last like 20 years, and every single woman will go through the change. Some won't have as harsh of symptoms, some will have harder symptoms than others, but we all go through it. So how can we support ourselves and support our hormones? Well, the hormones that are decreasing the most are progesterone and a form of our estrogen called estradiol. And these hormones are important in anti-inflammatory, in supporting our joints and our ligaments, so we're more prone to injury as we get older. They also support our bone density. They support our immune system. They support our calm well-being feeling. And a few more ways that estrogen and progesterone help us are they help us to absorb protein. They also help us to regulate our blood sugar levels, our insulin levels, our insulin sensitivity, and they also help us to absorb iron. So they're pretty important, and there are ways that we can support our loss and compensate for our loss of our hormones as we age. That is weightlifting, number one. Weightlifting helps with all the areas I just mentioned. Weightlifting is really important for women as we age. It's also really important for our brain. We can also reduce inflammatory foods. We get more sensitive to inflammation because we don't have those hormones as we age. So we can remember that processed foods are not our friend. Most grains are not our friend. Everyone's different, but a lot of grains aren't great for you because they actually bind to the nutrients that we eat and make them unusable. So, especially nowadays with all of our sprays and glyphosate and etc. So, weightlifting, anti-inflammatory foods, and eating lacto-fermentation or probiotic. I just make simple fermentations myself and have some sauerkraut or some fermented vegetables and eat a tablespoon of that a day. And I also increase my vegetable intake because that feeds our microbiome and supports it. So a few ways you can help your hormones as they decrease, help yourself compensate for that decrease. And there's some hormonal hump day for you. Have a wonderful day. Check out lanasLanternHealth.com. I've got different programs there for coaching for women holistically as you move through life in the later years. There's a lot of things we can do to help ourselves. Bye.